Hello and welcome back to day 17 of our 90 days data analytics training. Today we are basically talking about the lookup functions every data analyst needs to know. And for the sake of this tutorial, we'll be talking about three major lookup functions that you should know as a data analyst. The first one is VLOOKUP, the second one is HLOOKUP, and the third one is XLOOKUP. Let's get straight into the video. So what are lookup functions? Lookup functions basically help us search for values in a table. So for example, this is like a store data. They have their product details, the price list for the product, the stock, if the stock they have available, the count of stock they have available, the sales summary, and all of that. So I've already drafted out some of the questions we'll answer using these lookup functions. So for example, we have this product category now. We have the product ID and product name. So let's say for the price now, in the price, I have just the product ID and the unit price. Let's say I want to know the name for the product that the unit price cost this. I can automatically, instead of coming here to copy it, and if I copy it, it will be wrong because you see that this one is starting with P001, P002. And in this price list, P003 is the first one. So if I want to copy, then I'll have to come here, copy the product name for P003. Then come here, paste it, then go back. That's too stressful. We can automatically get it, the value, the product name directly from this worksheet into this worksheet using our lookup functions. So lookup functions basically helps us to search for value in a table, return related information from the same row or the same column, and it is used heavily when we are cleaning our data, when we want to check for validation or reporting. VLOOKUP is also vertical lookup, right? And you know, when we are talking about vertical, we are talking about downward like this. So that means VLOOKUP will search the first column, search down the first column of a range and returns a value from the same row. I know it sounds like grammar, so let's go into the practical phase. Okay, so like I said earlier, let's say that we have this product catalog and then we have the price list and we want to know the product name for each of these product ID. What we are basically going to do is we are going to add, let's just put a column in between. So it will be product ID, product name, and the unit price. So you can rename this column header to product name. Okay. Let's expand it. All right, so now we want to get the product name for each of these automatically from this worksheet. All you have to do is use equals to, because it's a function, then you call your VLOOKUP. So now you can see the VLOOKUP, what it does is it will look for a value in the leftmost column of a table. So it will look for the value in the leftmost column of the table and then returns a value in the same row. So for example, we are looking for P003 now, the product name. So it will look for the value that the product name for P003 row wise, right? From a column you specify, that is from the column we specify, that's the product ID that we are looking for. By default, the table must be sorted in an ascending order. So that's basically what VLOOKUP will do, all right? So let me open my brackets and now it's going to ask me for the lookup value. The lookup value basically is what is connecting the two tables. Know that I have product ID on this table. If I go to that product catalog table also, I have product ID, right? So product ID is what is connecting the two tables. We have two different type of keys. We have the primary key and the foreign key. So primary key is like a unique identifier. I'm still going to explain this in another class, right? But because what we are doing now is relating to it, so let me just give you a brief explanation. So this product ID now is a primary key. It uniquely identifies a product. Two products cannot have the same product ID. It's not possible. It's just like I have a store and I'm selling different products. And I have labeled each product a number 1, number 2, number 3. It's not possible for me to label two products the same number. I'll be very wrong and incorrect. So each product will have a unique number. That is what we call the primary key. So primary key is like the unique identifier. When we talk about foreign key now, foreign key connects the two tables together, right? So for example, these two tables that we want to connect together, we have product ID in this first table. If we go to the second table, we also have product ID. So product ID is the column that is common to the two tables, and we can call it the foreign key in this scenario. So now the foreign key in this context is the product ID between the two tables. So that's what we are going to connect it on. So let's go back to the VLOOKUP I was explaining earlier. So here we are going to do equals to VLOOKUP. All right, and the lookup value now will be the foreign key. That's the key connecting the two tables. You have to understand that you cannot use VLOOKUP if there is no foreign key between the two tables you are trying to connect. You can't use VLOOKUP. So there has to be a foreign key that connects the two tables together. So the lookup value in this case will be the product ID, right, which is the foreign key common between the two tables. Then I'll do a comma. Then it's going to ask me for the table array. The table array means that where are we getting the value from? We are going to get the product name, which is in this table, right? So I'm going to click on this worksheet. That's where the table array is. That's where I want to get my value from. So I'll just click on product category. Can you see it has said that I came to product category worksheet, and I'm going to highlight the entire table right here. You can see we have 3 columns. If I had 10 columns, I will highlight everything. All right, then I can say comma. Then now it's asking me for the column index number. Column index number means that in what column number is the value that I want to copy. We are trying to extract the product name, right? And then so you can count, this is column 1 and this is column 2. The product name we are trying to extract is in column 2, so we are just going to type 2. All right, and then we do a comma. So it's going to ask us for the range lookup. Do you want it to look for something similar? Maybe we have P01 and you want it to assume that P01 is the same thing as P001. Then you can pick the approximate match. But because it has to be exactly P001, P002, that's what I want. So I'm going to pick false. False means exact match, that you should look for the exact match. So let's close our brackets and press the enter key. Okay, so now you can see that P003 is saying that P003, the product name is product C. This is just a dummy data I generated, right? So let's confirm if P003, the product name is actually product C. Can you see now P003, the product name is product C, all right? So once we've used VLOOKUP for the first row, then we can just double click here to do the rest. So P013 is product M, P002 is product B, and on like that. So that is how we can use VLOOKUP in Excel. Some of the things you have to keep in mind when you are working with VLOOKUP is that the lookup value must be in the first column. You can see this is the lookup value and it must be in the first column. Also, the column number starts from left to right. You don't count your column index number from right to left. No, you always start counting from left to right. And VLOOKUP will break, like this lookup value will break if the column order changes. So let me move this from this column that it is, or we move this product name, we move it to another column, so it will break that VLOOKUP that we just did. Okay, so the next lookup function we are talking about right now is HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP is the same thing as horizontal lookup. Horizontal lookup is rarely used because most data sets are always vertical, not horizontal. And HLOOKUP basically searches the first row and returns a value from a specific row. So this is the business question we are trying to answer using this HLOOKUP. So it says find Q2 sales for East region using HLOOKUP. So we have Q2 sales for East region right here using HLOOKUP. So definitely we are going to get this value. This is Q2 for East region. But let's imagine that we have a large data set. You know, we won't be able to see it like this. And that's the essence of learning all of this formula. Okay, so let's use that here. We're just going to do equals to HLOOKUP, right? And then it's asking for the lookup value. The lookup value is the East region. We are looking for the value in the East region. So I'm going to put East in the, then we're going to do a comma. It's going to ask us for the table array. Highlight the entire table, right? That's the table array. Then comma, it's asking me for the row index number. The row index number now, because HLOOKUP basically is horizontal, so it deals with the row. When we did VLOOKUP, you know that one is vertical, so it asks us for column index number. But HLOOKUP is asking us for row index number because it basically deals with the rows. So now the row index number, we are looking for the quarter 2, right? Q2. So that is first row 1, second row 2, and third row 3. So we are doing 3. Then we are doing comma, so let's look for the exact match. And then close our brackets, press enter key. You can see now the result it gave us is 3852. And if you look into the second quarter under the East region, it's actually 3852. So this will help you easily locate. If you are looking for something quickly in your data set, you can use this lookup function to easily get it out. Imagine having 1 million rows and you want to look for something like this. So it is easier when you know how to use some of these lookup functions. Lastly, let's talk about XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is just like the combination of both HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP, both vertical and horizontal. It does not break when the column shifts, and it is more intuitive and flexible, but you can use it when you have the the recent version of Excel. You can't use it for the older version of your Excel, so it might not work. So if it doesn't work, you can just manage to use VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP till you upgrade your Excel version. So let me show you how XLOOKUP works. So the first question we are trying to answer is we want to get the unit price of each product using data from the price list sheet. We want to get the unit price for each product. So we already have the product ID. We want to get the unit price for each of these products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the column header later. So let me just do equals to XLOOKUP. All right. And then it's going to ask me for the lookup value. Remember, the lookup value is our foreign key, that one that is connecting the two tables together. So this is our lookup value. I'm going to select it. I'm going to do a comma. Then it's going to ask me for the lookup array. So I'm going to go to the price list because that's where I want to get the unit price. I'll click on it. Can you see it? I said, okay, I came to price list worksheet. And the foreign key connecting them, I'm going to click on product ID here as well. That's my lookup array. Then I'll do comma. Then it's going to ask me for my return array. Which column is it going to return value from? So we are returning value from the unit price. So I'm going to click that. And I'm going to add a comma. It's not going to ask me what should it return if it doesn't find any value for it. So I can just say it should tell me not found. So just in case some of the ID I listed is not available here, it's just going to tell me not found. So I'll close the quotes, close my brackets, and press. Okay, so now you can see the unit price for product ID P003 is 143.57. Let's confirm that. P003, right here, 143.57. All right. So now I can just double click here to get for the other product ID. P007 is saying not found. So let's confirm. Is it that there's no P007 in this price list? So as you can see, there's no P007 in this price list. And we said if we cannot find it, it should tell us not found. And that's exactly why it gave us not found on this P007. And it also gave us the price, unit price for other product IDs. And that is how we can use XLOOKUP. Let's use XLOOKUP in one more example because it is the modern one. So using XLOOKUP, let's get the stock quantity for this product ID. So you can see we have a stock sheet right here. And in the stock sheet, we have the stock available by their product ID. So using XLOOKUP, we just come here and say equals to XLOOKUP, right? And then we are going to take the lookup value, which is the foreign key, click on it, comma, then the lookup array is also the foreign key, but in this other worksheet that we are pairing with. So I'm going to click that. Comma, what is the return array? It should return the stock available to us, right? Then comma, if not found, just tell us stock unavailable or something. So you can see now that the stock quantity for product P003 is 4. So I'll double click here for the rest. And you can see there's no P010, there's no P012 in that. Let's confirm. P010 not available, P012 not available. And for P003 is 4, the quantity is 4. So that means that our XLOOKUP actually got the values correctly. Okay, so just a recap from everything we've said. Let me remind you of when to use each one of them. Lookup is used for older versions of Excel. It is just simple vertical data, right? HLOOKUP is very rare. We rarely use HLOOKUP. And it is when data is across rows like this, horizontal, remember. And XLOOKUP is the most preferred for modern tasks. It is robust and flexible, but it is only available in the newest version of Excel. In summary, lookup function saves time and automates reporting. Mastering XLOOKUP will set you apart as a modern analyst. And lookup function is not optional, they are must know. So you have to take your time to learn and practice. In the paid community, you get access to datasets that you can use to practice with business questions that you should answer with the datasets. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about conditional logics in Excel. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, and bye for now.